I'm Don Chapman. I'm with Grimm Brewhouse. We're newest brewery in Loveland, opened up in July 24th of last year, and we're brewing on a 10-barrel system. We started out with just my business partner and I, and we now up to, well, we got 4 employees at this time, and continually expanding in 26 accounts with I think something like 30 taps right now. We're trying to continually grow and keep up on top of things. It's been a kind of fast pace since we started this. I think we're about 200 barrels above where we predicted we would be upon opening.
So we've got 4 beers that are on tap all the time here, and anywhere between 2 to 4 specialties at any given time. Snowdrop, Little Red Cap, Fearless Youth, Master Thief are always on tap here, and those are main beers that we send out to accounts. So bars and restaurants have a lot of those. Some of our specialties right now with spring coming on is Riff Raff, which is a Dunkelweizen, and Puss in Boots, or as we say it, Puss in Boots and Weizen, is our Hefeweizen that kind of reminds people of the Colorado springtime. It's kind of one of my favorite beers right now, primarily drinking that one and Little Red Cap. But it's just a very traditional German-style wheat with a Weizen yeast. Drinks real easy. It's got a good head to it, good head retention. Finishes with good citrus notes, nice and crisp. So my dad actually just came in from Tennessee, and on his way through Kentucky he stopped at Buffalo Trace. Buffalo Trace is the oldest continually operated distillery in the United States, and while he was down there he picked up 5 barrels that were used for bourbon. So our plan for these is today we're going to do an Imperial Stout. After the stout is done fermenting, we'll go ahead and place it in these, which actually have bourbon in them, and it'll pick up the flavors of the bourbon, the oak, the char, really add to the beer. After it's been in here, we'll go ahead and pull it out, we'll carbonate it, and we'll bottle it. And this will be a nice, beautiful, big Imperial Stout with all those great bourbon flavors. So essentially what we're doing here is I'm pulling in hot water from the hot water tank, and once it gets up close to temp, I'll start balancing it out with some cold water. Once we have a stable level, we'll go ahead and start adding the grain. So I'm at 166 degrees water coming in, and what I'm going to do is through the grist hydrator, we're going to pull in the grain and try and adjust it so that each kernel of grain gets wet. What we're trying to avoid is dry clumps. It's definitely a lot of hard work because you're going into accounts and you're talking about your beer, and then you're coming back the next week and the week after and the week after. And I've got accounts that I've worked for 3 or 4 months, and out of the blue they'll call me and say, we're finally ready to try your beer. So it's not as easy as walking in and following on the shirt tails of the big craft brewers that have kind of broken through the ice. There's still a lot of sales that have to be done, and a lot of building those relationships. No matter how big you are, I still think this is a relationship business.
Another part about it is be very friendly with your big breweries around your area. They've, you know, Odell's in New Belgium in particular have been huge for helping us out. When we were short kegs, they lent us kegs so we could use them in here. When we needed our numbers on our beers, they did that for us, and they've been nothing but helpful. And it's really amazing how they give back to the community, even though we could eventually be a competitor of sorts.
It's kind of fun in the beer world. There's really no competitors. You know, even the guys our size, you know, a few miles away in another town, they really don't see us as a competitor. It's more, you know, we're comrades at arms. We're here, you know, we're doing an art and a craft of brewing. They want to help us as much as we want to help them.